everybody, it's Sonnie coming at you from Fukuoka, Japan, and I am finally doing my 9,000 subscriber special. I really want to thank you guys so much for everything. I cannot believe that we are at over 9,000 subscribers now. When Joe and I got back from Thailand, for the first like 2 days, I was kind of jet lagged, and then I just started feeling really sick, and it turned out that I had a fever and like all of this stuff, so I wasn't able to film this earlier. I'm sorry about that, but I'm here now, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So usually I'll like eat something weird or something like that for these, but for today I wanted to scratch off a map with you guys. This was actually from one of our friends, and it's one of those maps where you scratch off all the places that you've been to before. So my idea was to scratch off the different countries that we've been to and kind of tell you some stories that we've had during our travels there. So what do you think? Should I start with the US, since that's where we're from? And I know there's also US maps where we could scratch off the different states that we've been to. If we ever go back to the US and like get an RV and travel around the country or something like that, I would definitely get something like that. But yeah, it just, when it comes to a country that's as large as like the United States or Australia or something, it seems a shame to scratch off the whole thing when you've only experienced these pieces of it. But the rule of the map is that you are supposed to scratch off the whole country if you've visited the country. Okay, so I'm gonna start in New Jersey. Oh, if you can hear construction, they're doing construction next door, so I'm sorry about that. For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in America, and Joe and I lived there until I was 27, I think. Okay, so I'm only doing the continental US because we haven't been to Hawaii or Alaska. So I refuse to do those yet. But the US is done. Oh, no, it's not. So from the US, the first time that I left the country, I went to London, and that was for a, oh, look, England, it's a pretty color. I hope Scotland's a different color. It better be a different color. But I studied abroad there. Oh, they just have it as the UK. They don't have it as separate things. That's silly. Pretty much all of our positive stories happen because of people, which is really nice. Like, you meet some amazing people while you're traveling, and we definitely met some awesome people. So like when we were taking the ferry from Italy over to Greece, there was this really nice family that we were chatting with, and their sons were studying English, and the reason that we met them was because we had deck seats next to one another. But yeah, so we were sitting on the deck, and you can see this in the video, and I had my computer open and I was watching a movie, and as I was watching the movie, I saw some faces suddenly in the reflection, and it was their two sons behind me peeking over, because I was watching Madagascar, I believe, and that was the first time that I'd ever watched Madagascar. And so when I saw that they were peeking over, I turned the subtitles on, that way they could know what's going on, and I unplugged my headphones, that way maybe they could hear something. It was a bit loud on the deck of the boat, but I was just hoping that they could. So then when that movie was over, I asked them what they wanted to watch next, and so we got to talking, and we ended up talking to their sister and their mom and their dad, and they had a dog with them. It was so cute. And they were just so lovely, and it was just such a nice talk. They were from Germany, And yeah, really, really friendly. And then they ended up going to bed, but we had talked to them like, because it was a 23-hour ferry. So they ended up going to bed because they had a room and we didn't. So we slept up on the deck, and the next morning they came out and we were chatting again and watching other stuff. I think we watched Aladdin the next day together. And then, oh, our first night during our trip, we were in Amsterdam, and these are so small. This is going to be so difficult. We were in Amsterdam and we were outside eating at a restaurant by the canals, and we were just so excited. It was our first night starting this trip, and we had never taken anything like it before. You know, it was our first long trip. We were sitting out there eating, and there was another American couple, but they were older, and we got to chatting with them, and we told them that this was our first trip, and they ended up paying for our meal that night, which was amazing, like just so nice of them. They also joked about going to see a sex show with us, but that didn't happen. When we were in Amsterdam, one night we got like barely any sleep. And then the next night was the night bus from Amsterdam to Berlin. And we thought we would be able to sleep on it, but the people behind us were awake the entire time, and when they talked, wow, did they talk loud. So we ended up not getting any sleep really on that bus ride either. So it was 2 nights in a row without any sleep pretty much. So the next day in Berlin, Joe and I were like living zombies. We made 3 major mistakes all in a row. So Joe added salt to his coffee at this little coffee shop when he was trying to wake himself up instead of sugar. In the same coffee shop, I was so tired that I walked into the men's room to go to the bathroom, went to the bathroom and didn't realize that I was in the wrong one until I was walking out and a man was walking in, and then I tried apologizing to him and he was just kind of laughing. And then right after that, with our luggage and stuff, we went on a bus and we realized on the bus that we were going in the opposite direction and we got on the wrong bus. So we had to pay for that because we didn't have the passes yet. And that's all 3 in one morning as soon as we got to Berlin. After the Europe trip, I did study abroad in Tobago, which is a really small island off of Venezuela. And actually, I don't even think that they have Tobago on this map. I see Trinidad, but I don't see Tobago. So I'll do Trinidad here, I guess, because it's so tiny. Actually, Cambodia, I still obviously don't have these videos out, but we had such a lovely time when we were up in the northeast part of Cambodia. We went to this little, in Sen Monorom, we went to this little like pizza shop, which we were shocked that they had pizza there. And it turned out that the people had the flour like hand ground and sent up from Phnom Penh, and they made it in-house, so it took a little while to get. And a lot of the people that have businesses in Cambodia and Thailand as well, but not as much, you're kind of eating in their house. And so they had a TV there and they had a crib for their young daughter. And she had a playroom in the back with a hammock across. They had their 2 dogs there and 1 puppy. As soon as we arrived, the little girl picked up the puppy and it was like as big as her, and she has her arms under its like arms are straight out because she's hugging it like that, and she brought over the puppy to us, and the puppy was sleeping, and puppies need sleep, and I felt so bad, but she was so cute. And then the daughter came over to look at my camera actually, and so I put the strap around my hand and I was holding it and letting her look through, and she was hitting buttons, but I was watching her, and Joe's like, she's gonna delete everything. She's gonna delete all of your stuff? And I'm like, no, I'm watching, it's okay. And then I showed her how she can take pictures with it, and she just pointed at one spot on the table and she just kept taking pictures, and she took like 30 pictures of that one spot on the table, and it was so cute. And she was just so happy and she loved it so much. At the end of the night, after we finished eating, they were trying to get her to sleep because she hadn't taken a nap, and she was so inquisitive. She had so much energy. She's running around everywhere, and her parents are chasing her while they're trying to make the food and take orders and all this other stuff. They put on Moana to kind of keep her entertained, and I ended up like singing some of it, and she was fascinated that I was singing it and I knew the words, and she was trying to sing it, but she couldn't speak English, so she was just going like, like, you know, making just sounds. She was so cute, and she just kept bringing the puppy over. Anytime that somebody came into the restaurant, she would pick up the puppy again and bring it over to them. And then at the very end of the night before we left, we ended up playing like soccer, not really, like just kicking around a little rubber ball with her around the bigger space of the restaurant in between the kitchen and the tables. And we just had such a lovely evening that we ended up going back there again the next night. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh. So I still have 2 more countries to go, but look how small. Like, there's so much more of the world that we have left to see, and that makes me so happy and so excited. Oh, man. It's just amazing to me. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but for 1 year while we were in Scotland, I didn't eat any meat. As we were traveling, I wasn't at that point a vegetarian or anything like that, but even now and like my entire life, I've loved eating vegetarian meals, and I've never been a really heavy meat eater. I always try to just have, you know, a bit of meat on the side, and then much more focus on the vegetables and the grains. So I actually was taking note of the places where it was easy to be a vegetarian or a vegan, or where I saw a lot of options, and some of the ones where I didn't see a lot of options were kind of funny. Like in the Czech Republic, I really only saw fried cheese or fried cauliflower as the vegetarian options, and I didn't order those, so maybe they were fried in like pork fat, because I've seen that happen. Because when we were in Greece, I tried ordering a salad, and it just said that it was a regular Caesar salad, which I understand is pescatarian and not vegetarian, but I didn't want to eat any meat, and it came out with chicken and bacon on top, and I was like, oh, okay, well, there goes that. And then I saw on a menu that there was a bean soup, and you could have it with sausage or without sausage. So I was like, awesome, I'll order it without sausage and it'll be a vegetarian meal. And I ordered it, and it came out, and there were chunks of ham and bacon in the soup. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hearing some of the little extra stories about our travels. And once again, thank you so much for 9,000 subscribers. That's absolutely incredible. If you like hearing more about all of this extra stuff and you want more peeks into our lives, definitely go look into supporting me on Patreon, because I have a lot of videos that don't get posted here that are exclusives or extras just for the amazing, wonderful people that are supporting me, like FewGrain42, Kaz Avery, Fine Ass Amy Fresh, David Smith, Jesta, and last but not least, Stephen Gardner. Seriously, thank you guys so much for your support. You're absolutely amazing, and I appreciate it so much. And for the people that have stayed all the way until this point of the video, I do want to make a little announcement that in less than 10 days now, my friend Ingeborg from the videos where we talked about Norway versus America versus Scotland for working and college, she is coming to Japan for almost the entire month of February to stay with us, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I miss her so much, and I can't wait to see her, and we have so many plans, and I'm gonna show her all around my city, and oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. So you're gonna see her and me, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see her. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you really liked it, definitely subscribe or check me out on Patreon, like I said. If you want to see more videos like this, like I have stories specifically in this book all about crazy drunk people at hostels and stuff like that we've had to deal with. So let me know if you want to see something like that. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!